Today, I'm going to be comparing Torchlight Infinite to Diablo Immortal. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and welcome back to the channel. And now that I'm playing Torchlight Infinite in its beta, and Diablo Immortal's beta is gone, perfect timing by the way, I decided I'd bring you a casual video discussing elements of each, which ones I like better, which ones I think are great, which ones I think are bad, and which ones are maybe even lacking. So inside this video, I'm going to kick back and talk to you guys about what's awesome, what to look forward to, and what I really like. So if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you sub the channel, ring the bell, you know the deal. Let's start off with the graphics. Now, art of any kind is subjective. Some people like art of some games and some people like art of another game. Some people like art from this artist and some people like art from that artist. So really, it's tough to judge. Personally, you have the art from Torchlight Infinite, which is a little bit more saturated, pretty bright, really nice, colorful looking game, while Diablo Immortal, although it does have some color to it, it's much more like you're living in hell, you're in the dungeony area. It's less bright, less cartoony, for a lack of better words. I personally like both of them, and really it depends on my mood for which ones I would prefer as far as art style goes. Now, a little bit about me. I was more of a Torchlight 2 player back in the day than I was a Diablo player back in the day. So I really do have a spot in my heart for Torchlight and how the game played and, you know, all the elements within it. So as far as art goes, it really is subjective. Both games have great artwork. Both games have great graphics as well, which is probably something that we should be breaking down a little bit more. But again, they're both just very different. You have the Torchlight, which is a little bit more cartoony, and you have the Diablo Immortal, which is a little bit more realistic, although they are both cartoony in their own right. Man, it's very difficult to break this one down. I personally, if I had to choose only one, it would be Diablo Immortal, but to be honest with you, I think they're both great. It really is just depending on your mood. Next up is character classes. Inside of Diablo Immortal, we have 6 classes that the game is launching with. We have the Barbarian, the Demon Hunter, the Wizard, the Monk. Those were the first 4 that were launched. Then, of course, we had the Crusader and the Necromancer, while in Torchlight Infinite, there are only 4 classes. We have the Space Witness, Frostfire, Divine Shot, and the Berserker. The footage that we're looking at here today, guys, is Berserker from Torchlight, and it's Barbarian from Diablo Immortal. They're both Barbarian style classes. I figured it was worth the comparison. Basically, they compared together the best. So if we're looking at character classes and diversity in classes, Diablo Immortal has to get the win here just because they have more available at the start. Now, neither one of these games has launched. Although I know that Diablo Immortal is going to launch with the 6 character classes, Torchlight Infinite may bring more. I honestly don't know. But as of right now, as it sits, Diablo Immortal has 6 options. Torchlight Infinite, they have 4. Diablo wins there on the variety front. Not that the classes are better or worse, just they have more choices, more opportunity. Next up is overall battle mechanics. So playing as the Barbarian class or the Berserker class from each of the games, very fitting for each. They are very similar classes with very similar moves. You have leap attacks, you have spin attacks, you have healing elements over in Torchlight, although that's not something we see in Diablo Immortal, but the battle mechanics are very heavy. They're very brutal. They're very tanky in both of them. I have to say that when I'm playing Torchlight, I feel like my Berserker class, which is a rage-driven character class, is faster than the Barbarian in Diablo Immortal. It just seems to have a little bit more quickness in the movement. Diablo Immortal, it seems like there's more skills available for that character class. Although skill systems are something we're going to get into a little bit later inside of this video, I do feel that they have different elements that make them both shine. I like the speed that you get from the Berserker class in Torchlight, yet I like the moves, the skills, the elements, and really the Barbarian tankiness better inside of Diablo Immortal. Not that I'm grading each of them, but these ones would be pretty much a tie. I would love to see a little bit of a merger of both of them to make the perfect character class. Now, worth noting, guys, I'm only comparing these 2 classes because I only played 1 class in Torchlight Infinite, while I played all 6 classes in Diablo Immortal. Clearly, I have a larger investment into Diablo Immortal. It's the game that I'm going to play as my main game primarily, when it does launch in just a few months. But Torchlight Infinite, it's gonna be on my phone. It's gonna be a game that I play as well, and that's when I'll probably mess with other classes. I may even play around with some classes after I do this video, just to kind of break them down for you guys so you can see what's up. Now, the controls of Diablo Immortal and Torchlight Infinite are pretty standard for both. They work pretty well for both. Diablo Immortal, you have a meter that'll pop up that shows when you get your super. In Torchlight Infinite, it's a bar. You also get it like 15 times faster in Torchlight Infinite, while in Diablo Immortal, it takes a long time to charge your super. It's more brutal in Diablo Immortal, but you get it so infrequently. I like how in Torchlight Infinite, you do get that super more quickly, and you could honestly just continuously just charge up your super from other attacks and use it consistently in the game. But as the controls, the buttons are set up, they're pretty much the same for both of the games. Something that I don't like about Torchlight Infinite is there's an option to auto pick up items as they hit the ground. I have that option selected, yet they don't auto pick up. Probably a bug, probably just a beta thing, but I don't like having to manually pick up every item as I run around the map. In Diablo Immortal, there's an option to auto pick up, plus an option to choose what level or rarity of items you can auto pick up, and it works. So I like that for Diablo Immortal. But overall, controls, the way that they're set up are the same. I feel like you have more options for fine-tuning them in Diablo Immortal. Let's talk about the fight. When you're in a battle in Diablo Immortal versus when you're in a battle in Torchlight Infinite, I feel like the enemies in Torchlight Infinite are easier to beat. Possibly because you can continuously charge up your super and use that devastating attack more often inside of the game, while in Diablo Immortal, you don't get your super much. It's not going to be something that you could regularly spam. Torchlight, you can. Diablo Immortal, you can't. It's all good though. I feel like Diablo Immortal has a little bit more difficulty to it. Although I have only spent a couple of hours playing Torchlight Infinite, and I've spent hundreds of hours playing Diablo Immortal, maybe it's just my skill. Maybe I'm just so good at Diablo Immortal that I am Diablo Immortal. You remember that? Just saying. I think the battles are a little bit more grindy. The bosses are more difficult in Diablo Immortal, while you can go in Torchlight Infinite and attack, super, attack, super, spam your attacks. It's more of a spam attack, beat things down kind of game, where Diablo Immortal, there's just a little bit more mechanics. Let's talk about sounds. I don't think I listened to the sound inside of Torchlight Infinite. Diablo Immortal, I did. So much for sound. Maps and navigating around the maps. Torchlight Infinite, not bad. You have a map that can come up on the main screen. It doesn't spread itself out. So getting yourself around, although there is always a consistent arrow telling you where to go, can sometimes get a little bit more confusing. Diablo Immortal, it's a little bit more precise on where you're going. Plus you can auto navigate to things, which is a nice feature that I didn't see in Torchlight. With that being said, Torchlight is always giving you that arrow. It's always telling you where you need to go next. Diablo Immortal doesn't always have that, so it's not as easy to find your way around. So what do you prefer? Do you want to be handheld along the way that you're being in Torchlight Infinite, where it's going to always tell you exactly where to go? Or do you want to have to do a little bit more exploration in Diablo Immortal and, you know, find your own way? It's a preference thing. It literally is what you feel like doing. So on a day that I want to be mindless and just dive on in, kill things, and follow an arrow, I'll play Torchlight. On days that I want to maybe do a little bit more mind thinking and just try and accomplish more stuff, I'll play Diablo Immortal. It's a tie here. Just depends on what you like. The world is quite a bit more closed in Torchlight Infinite. There's less place for you to go explore, less places to get lost. It's more of a linear experience, while in Diablo Immortal, you could definitely go explore, find dungeons in the middle of nowhere, and just get lost inside of the game. Also, you have people that you can be encountering in the game that are playing alongside of you. I believe the same thing can happen in Torchlight, because I've seen other classes running around me, and I think they were real people. Pretty sure that they were. So I like the open world, the size, the grandness that you get out of Diablo Immortal over the more of a linear experience that you get in Torchlight Infinite, which for me, honestly, I used to typically be a linear kind of guy. I didn't want to go play a Mass Effect game when I could play a Gears of War. I wanted that linear experience. Not that anyone plays the campaign in these games. I mean, maybe Mass Effect, but Gears of War, all about multiplayer. Although I did play the campaign in Gears of War 1 through 2 or 3 times. It was that good. Back on topic. So if I had to choose, I would choose Diablo Immortal for the larger, more grand experience. Let's talk about pay to win or ways to spend inside of the game. Now, it's difficult to say because in Torchlight Infinite, this is not part of the game yet. So if I were comparing Torchlight Infinite to the technical alpha of Diablo Immortal before monetization was even part of the game, it would be the same. But now that we've seen the monetization strategies that Diablo is going to have, Diablo Immortal, we see that you could gain strength in the game just from spending money. You can't get better weapons, you can't get better gear, but you can work in your gems and you can get some progression more quickly than someone that's not paying. In Torchlight, it's hard to see yet because those elements of the game are not in the beta. They weren't there. So I can't really test it. As of right now, you play Torchlight Infinite and there's no pay to win element at all. Inside of Diablo Immortal, there's a bit of an element there. Paying players are going to be able to get stronger more quickly than people that don't. So for that one, if you're looking at it in that case, Torchlight would win, but it may just not be developed yet for the game. Next up is the size of the game. And I'm not talking about the actual size of the file. I'm talking about the grandness of the game. Torchlight is pretty grand. It's an action RPG. You got your home base city with all your people around it to do different things, and then you have all the realms that you go out to. But Diablo Immortal, it's just bigger. It's just more grand. It's just got more things to do. You got PvP, which needs some working. Let's be honest, it is not perfect by far. You got Elder Rifts, you got Challenge Rifts, you got the Heliquary, you got the Shadows, you got the Immortals, you got the Adventure activities, you got the Bounty Board, you have the campaign. Diablo Immortal is 3, 4, 5 times larger than Diablo 3, and Diablo Immortal is a mobile game, while Diablo 3 is a PC game. Overall fun inside of the game. I'm gonna be honest here. They're both fun in their different ways. Like I mentioned earlier, spammy attacking, just going in, just having fun, having a blast, upgrading your character along the way. Torchlight Infinite has you covered. If you're looking for more specific ways of playing, going through the campaign, or maybe you want to do those rifts that we spoke of, or you want to play with friends in Elder Rifts, Challenge Rifts, PvP, they both are fun in different ways. It's a tie. No one game wins in that compartment. Upgrading of skills and talent trees and things like that, they both do it differently. Skills will auto upgrade inside of Diablo Immortal, and you'll also notice that your skills are going to be auto upgrading as you go inside of Torchlight Infinite. Torchlight Infinite also offers a skill tree that you unlock nodes for that you can fill in as you go, and some other tree as well that you get some rewards from as you progress. While Diablo Immortal, you have the gear, you have gear slots for gems, you can upgrade gear, you can upgrade gems, and there's a lot of upgrading that you could do in Diablo Immortal, like a lot. Torchlight Infinite seems like it's a little lighter on that compartment, so if you're looking for less of a grind for a max character, I'd go to Torchlight Infinite. If you're looking for that grindy kind of game where you could be a beast, but it's gonna take you some time to get there, that's Diablo Immortal. And the final category is, which one do I think will see more success? Which one will be the most popular action RPG on mobile? Is it gonna be Torchlight Infinite or Diablo Immortal? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below which one you think is gonna be more popular. For me, it's an easy Diablo Immortal. I really do think the game will be probably the most popular action RPG on mobile devices. Hands down, no question. Torchlight Infinite, I don't think it's going to beat out Diablo Immortal, but I do think it'll be a competitor, and I do think it'll be very good as well. Now, we also have Path of Exile mobile coming. Notice we heard about that game about a year after Diablo Immortal, and we've never heard anything since then. They've just been silent. No one hates on them for it, probably because of how the announcement went. It was kind of a side project thing, while Diablo Immortal was just all hype, and then everyone was disappointed, but not me. The only thing I'm disappointed with is the wait, but it'll be worth it. So yeah, Diablo Immortal is going to win on that front. The game is going to be incredible. And I really think they said the first half of 2022. I think we only have about 3 more months until we see it. Torchlight Infinite, not sure exactly when it's going to be coming, although the game is very smooth. It played very well, very few bugs besides that gear pickup. I wish that was fixed. Now, I appreciate you guys sticking around till the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts if you've played both of them, which one you like better. Really curious about what you, the community, has to say. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, ring the bell for when we have more action RPG mobile titles, more Diablo Immortal videos and things like that. And you guys know we're over on Twitter. You do Twitter? Come on through my Twitter. I'd love to see you there. But I appreciate you guys. Have a great day and be good.